Hello, welcome to Who's On Next, the only podcast that cures your arthritis. Today I have with me a person who's kind of a jack of all trades. They've worked in comics, they've directed, they've worked on shows like Big City Greens, Harvey Beaks. They were the voice of Miko and Glitch Text. It is Monica/Monti Ray.
Hey, what's up?
How are you
How's
doing
it going?
today?
I'm chill. I'm vibing here with my cats just, you know, chilling out on a sunny LA morning.
How many cats you got?
Oh, I've got just the two. Oh, they're so cute. They're bonded siblings.
Wait, are they
And
from
they've
the
got a
same
little
litter?
yeah, and they've got a little yin yang thing going on. One is pale, one is darker. It's so cute when they cuddle.
Do
It's a
they
good
cut?
time.
Wait, do they actually like interlock? Like, do they
Oh,
yin
they
yang?
do.
Oh my
Oh yeah.
god.
They yin yang all the time. And it's so cute with their little paws like stretched out over each other. I can't get the one to stop eating the other one's whiskers. I don't know why she does that, but he has no whiskers and I don't know how to help him.
Wait, is
So
have they pulled their whiskers out?
I think she likes to chew. I think she's just a chewer. And I think she just likes to chew. Like, I have cat grass for her, but I don't know. Every time his whiskers get a little bit long, she's always there mowing them down with her front teeth. Uh, so I don't know. I'm open to suggestions to fix this behavior.
Say,
If,
I've never been able to have cats, unfortunately, because my parents are
oh,
allergic. So
ah,
I've
understandable.
I've always been a dog person. So
Oh, nice.
just say I have
Dougie.
my cocker spaniel in the other room.
Oh, precious angel. The Cocker Spaniel doesn't sit with you while you record?
I mean he could if he wanted to, but he just prefers to sleep in his bed in the living room.
Oh man, I had a record with that guy. Hold on.
That
Let me
guy.
make I know I need to make sure I get his name right because he was so nice and I don't want to be like an asshole. Um Joe
Mang
Manganiello.
Manganello, I know that name.
Yes. So we had a record with him once on Big City and when he was recording, I think his camera shifted once on accident and his sweet he has a sweet little chihuahua that like
Yes,
sits
I've seen it
on
before,
his
yeah.
lap and she's so quiet during the record and he was like she's this is Bubbles. And I was like Bubbles.
That's like Carrie Fisher with her dog, like that would always have its like tongue hanging out, and she would take it everywhere, and he would just sit in interviews with
Aw.
her.
I think it's so cute because Joe Manganiello is so big and muscular and tall, and Bubbles was so little that it was so cute to see the two of them together.
I, I guess to get this started, I guess the question is where do we start? Because again, you've had a very diverse career, like in
True.
animation, in comics, in voice acting.
True.
I guess comics, because from what I was able to find, that was the earliest thing.
Yes, it was. And it was straight out of college and I was like from the Midwest, so there isn't really like a film scene out there per se. Or there's like definitely indie film
If you're in
people.
like Chicago, that's like
Yeah,
pretty much the only area.
pretty much, but the jobs you would get aren't in Chicago. You'd like have to move, to LA or Canada or wherever. And like so it was very much like a self-made journey. I don't hate talking about it, but webcomics was such a stressful time for me. It was like it's like those overwhelming TikTok sounds where it's like there's like five different sounds all playing at the same volume. It's like the McDonald's noises, it's like the scary Roblox noises. It's like I was trying to do so much
The
at the
penis
same
music.
time. Whatever that, yes, is that what it's called?
Well, that I call it
Penis
penis
music.
music. That's like the when they play like the clown music and the Hanna Barbera sounds. Like they play like seven sounds over each other,
Seven
like that kind
sounds
of shit.
over and over. It was such a combination of like I didn't know what I was doing. There was money at stake and no one was helping me. Like all of the friends I had, all of the people in my like art community were like like the mean art friends that you just have in art school that we if you have them, you have, if you know, you know. But it's like it was so chaotic, and making comics was not fun during that time. But it did get me where I needed to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was fun at times, you know, like it was really fun to like go around after the reality show came out. Like that was really fun to like get to go places, and people actually like knew my comics a little bit after that. That was a fun time.
Well, and you did a thing called Fuzzy Comics, if I recall correctly, because for what I was able to find, and it was autobiographical, correct?
Correct. I don't think the website, I think I let the hosting die.
Well, I was able to find
I
some of them when I
Oh,
looked into it.
nice. There's no reason why I haven't re-uploaded all of them. I'm just like,
Because I think I found a Facebook page when I looked it
oh
up.
man. I had one of those. I remember I hit all those social medias. I was trying to make a brand. Yeah, I had a oh god. Oh
Well,
god.
it's funny because when I do these interviews, I actually try to find other interviews so I can like get like a bit more information just to see like if I can like work off of it to ask people questions. And it was interesting because I think the only thing I was able to find was an old thing for Penny Arcade. That's like
Oh
the only
man.
thing. It's the only thing I was able to find was this old video for like Penny Arcade, because I guess they were doing a contest like 12 years ago, something like that.
It's crazy because all that shit that I did is just gone now. Like, yeah, like they had a reality show that they put on that was a product of their Kickstarter, and that was really fun to be on. And yeah, but they like, it's like it's not anywhere anymore. They hosted the whole thing on YouTube. They had their own website for it. And then, they like it's one of those internet treasures now. One of those things that happened, but yeah, when you Google it, you're like, where was there any? Did this actually happen?
Oh yeah, it's like
Um,
those old like early YouTube, like when MTV or like Comedy Central would do like those like web exclusive like shows, and then they
yeah,
just
baby.
removed them after like 5 years, and like they're like basically lost
100%.
media.
I mean, that's kind of what my comic is at this point too. Not even because of any actual effort on my part, but purely because I just, as soon as I got sucked into animation, there was no time for anything else. But hard same. Like it's you know, it's just I feel kind of bad too because I spread out some of my like personal art accounts as well, but those websites also kind of, like Tumblr was big for a while, and I had multiple Tumblrs where I would post like different content, but now it's not dead. There's definitely still people on Tumblr, and Tumblr's still arguably, I think, funnier than Twitter. And TikTok people are still stealing content from Tumblr and Twitter and just like doing their own influencer version of it. Anyway, I'm too online for this. But but yeah, those things are like hard to find now. Like my multiple Tumblr accounts that used to get me a lot of, attention. It's like nobody goes there anymore. So it's like, oh, yeah, I feel bad. Everybody, if anyone wants to Google me, they have to like do a lot of work to find the trail.
Oh yeah, that's well, because that's what it was when I found that video. Because again, like I said, I try to find interviews or things that people do, like if they did an interview with this person to see if I can get like a little more information like about the person, so I can ask questions. And it's one of those things where I'm like, this person doesn't have a Wikipedia page. This person doesn't do interviews. I'm like one of the first people to do this.
Nice. You are. That's sick. I mean, I do think I have maybe a Wikipedia page for one of the shows that I was on, but I corrected the Wikipedia page like a few years ago. But like for a while they were like, "Oh yeah, this is Monica. She's Japanese." And I was like, "Dog, dog, the character was Japanese. I'm not Japanese, you fools. But it was funny. So we fixed that. I'm half Chinese, but it's fine. Whatever. We don't have to go into it.
Half Japanese, half Chinese, or
No. Half white, half Chinese.
oh,
So they
okay.
were totally off, but they did. But whatever, it's fine. So no, I guess I'm on this. I guess in terms of like internet, what's it called? Carbon footprint. I like don't super have one.
No, well, that's. I'm trying to remember, like, if I've interviewed anybody who had like not much of a footprint, because I know that there. Oh, I interviewed like an old YouTube series back in the day called like 30-Second Bunnies, where they like recreate movies with these like
Nice.
bunny characters.
Wait, I
And
do vaguely remember this.
yes, it was like early 2010s, late 2000s, and it was like really popular for a period. And I found her website, the woman who does it, because she does like comics now. And
It was kind of stop motion-y, right?
no, it was very low frame rate flash animation.
Ah, okay.
And I found her. It's actually funny because this wasn't in the interview. This is before we started. But I remember I found her. I emailed her. She got back to me. We agreed to do the interview. And within like before we started, she was just like, "Hey, I want to ask a question. How'd you find me?" Like, she was just like, "Yeah, I just like, I haven't done anything like super, super huge in like over a decade. Like, how'd you find me?" And I was just like, I still go back to the 30-Second Bunnies videos every so often, and I saw your name, and I was like, huh, I wonder if this person has a contact info of some kind. And I found her, and I emailed her.
I think that's beautiful, and I also think that's part of like it's weird. I can't super put my finger on the logic of it, but low key, I think that's kind of how art is gonna persist through the future of like this trivialized AI slop thing that people want to push as like the new thing. It's like you come back to those videos because whatever wavelength you were both on, you were like, yeah. And like I think more and more now I'm noticing that the people who like are in the social media cycle right now, people who are like on TikTok and whatever, it's like they really reject content that feels pandered. Like they hate it. They despise it. They like shit on it. The comments are always really mean. And it's like we're kind of in this place where I'm noticing that a lot of people are combing places like TikTok for other people. And it's really nice to see them be that way. Like it's so refreshing to know that like some of the shit that nobody wants that we're forced to make doesn't actually land. and on the other side of it, audience members don't want this shit either.
Well, yeah, the AI bubble is going to eventually crash, and I guarantee it'll happen sometime in the next year.
Oh, it might even happen sooner than that. And the worst part is that when it does crash, they're going to stick around, but they're gonna do what unfortunately their AI their product has like, you know, kind of proven to do the best, which is like drive people into AI psychosis, and they're gonna keep it alive as like a subscription service, and they're just gonna peddle it to people who are addicted to it.
NFTs like technically still exist, but like
Sure.
Nobody gives a shit about them anymore. It's funny, I was digging into this like a couple days ago because I remember that like that Crepopolis show, that like animated show on like Fox or whatever, when that was coming out, that was like during the NFT boom or like the end of the NFT boom, so they promoted it with NFTs.
Okay.
And after it came out, the NFT collapsed. The whole thing collapsed. Like everyone stopped caring about NFTs. But they still had the NFTs listed on their website. And I went back to their website a few days ago and they're gone. Like no mention of it at all. But I found that they still have a link to it. It's just buried.
It's just buried. But you can still watch the show somewhere?
Oh, well, yeah, the show's still on. It's on TV. It's
Oh,
on
okay, okay.
TV, but they promoted it with NFTs. That was one of the things they used to like promote the show. Was like, hey, if you watch on Fox at like 9 p.m. on Tuesday at the specific time code, you'll get a code for an NFT on the market. Then you can buy it if you're the first one to enter that code, like that kind of
Holy
shit.
shit. Okay. I guess when they were trying to make it a thing, they were I definitely know of a couple different projects that like got funding through NFTs, and it's like it's interesting to see because yeah, it's like I mean that's kind of what we do through studios anyway, is like we try to get the money to make the thing and then we make the thing. And but yeah, the I don't know. I don't know what you do with it once you make it and then you're like trying to be like, but now it's exclusive. It's like, how is that any different from a Kickstarter?
Well, yeah, and
You
at
like
that
you
point, you're also basically blocking it behind a paywall. At that point, with a lot of
which
shit
is kind
like
of what a
that.
subscription service, that's what subscription services do anyway. I just don't really see how it's different from anything that already exists. And it's funny because my dad actually he like sat me down and was like, you gotta see this, you it's like I love this, it's so funny. And Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher made a show with some of the money that they earned from NFTs, and it was called Stoner Cats.
Oh,
And
yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
it's a delight. It's a
Oh,
delight.
did you ever hear the story of that thing with like Seth Green and his like ape, like his NFT monkey or whatever?
He's not the one behind the ape, is he?
No. So Seth Green, a couple years ago, was gonna make a show about his ape, like his NFT monkey that he bought.
And okay.
It was gonna be a live. It was weird. It was gonna be a live action animated hybrid show.
Okay.
And like footage of it got released. I think it got leaked around the time it was announced that it was in production. And some like 15-year-old kid stole his fucking NFTs from him.
Yeah. Love
and
that.
he legally couldn't make the show anymore because he didn't own the character because someone stole it from him.
Wait. Yes. Wait. It's a beautiful story.
Oh, it's so
fun.
fun. That's so funny. And he tried to buy it back from the kid, and the kid, I think the kid literally like wrote in an email that got released like, lol, no, get fucked.
Wow. Incredible. I mean, yeah, man, I don't know. NFTs are just not, they just never became the thing that they thought they would. And I think we all, it's like, it's almost kind of ancient history now. It's like we're pointing and laughing at the people who invested in AI, and NFTs were just like the previous scam.
Well, yeah, no, it's a fucking, was it, time is a flat circle. Like, it's just, there's always going to be a new fucking thing that comes around.
And you know what? Who knows? Maybe as I get older and the hereditary Alzheimer's sets in, maybe I'll finally succumb to one, you know? When they finally get me, you know, they get me, I guess.
Well, and I remember, but again, like, oh no, you say your thing.
I was just gonna say, but only after my mind has deteriorated from, age.
I remember there was like Dogecoin, like those Bitcoin, that Bitcoin shit. I was like right before NFTs, where like Bitcoin became like a huge fucking thing again. And I remember there was this thing called like Dogecoin, and I think it literally within like a month was not even like worth a penny. Like after it came out, like something like that.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Hey, guess what? You're poor! And you will always be poor, no matter how many NFTs you buy. Anyway, I'm not trying to say that from a point of view of like, I'm wealthy. I'm not. I'm just also like here trying, like everybody else, to be like, how do I feed my cats their wet food? and also feed myself wet food. But it's like, I don't know, these get rich quick scams never appeal, you know?
Well,
It just
you always have like that rhetoric. I've talked to like so many people, and everybody I think has like that rhetorical situation in their head, like if they found a genie or had like fairy godparents or something, and it'd be just like, I wish I was comfortably well off for like the rest of my life, like that kind of shit. I think about that a lot, like the rhetorical situation of having that and just being able to get anything I want. Even if it was just like 3 wishes, I'd just be like, being comfortably well off with money for the rest of my fucking life. Having perfect health and dying at like 85. Like, and
See, I'm the opposite. I'm like, perfect health, die suddenly, don't know when, don't want to know, don't care.
Oh, see, if you know you're gonna die suddenly, that would just put me in a panic because I'm a hypochondriac.
Really?
I'm a hypochondriac,
like,
so I'm like
that doesn't put
terrified
you
of
at
getting
ease?
sick. Like,
Oh,
like I'm
interesting.
terrified of getting sick. I'm like, I want perfect health, never get sick ever, no injuries, nothing. I'll just die of natural causes at like 82 years old. Like,
yeah, you'll be like chilling in the sun, and then you'll just be like, this is nice.
I want to like my soul to like peacefully leave my body while I'm like sitting in my backyard or something. Like,
yeah, I love that. You make the deal with the genie, and then I make like my deal, and then like when you're 80, I come and I'm like, I get your soul. I whisper your soul. You mean?
We made a deal, motherfucker.
No, so evil. No, but I hear you. Oh man, there was a really good Perry Bible Fellowship. Oh, Perry Bible Fellowship. Can you still find that? Is that still on there? Did
I
that
don't even
survive?
know what. I need to look it up. Perry Bible
Oh,
Fellowship.
Perry Bible Fellowship was like
yes, there's a whole website dedicated to it.
good. Can't lose that shit. Cannot lose Perry Bible Fellowship. That stuff was like the highest quality of webcomic content.
Holy shit, 24 years old. Holy shit.
Yeah, man.
That's
and
a
that shit
hell of a run if it's still going. It's still going. Oh my god.
And they don't update often is the thing. It's not like a serialized like Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing, if from what I recall back in the day. But
it's like a Homestar runner. They come back like every 2 or 3 years kind of thing.
I'm not really sure. I guess the social media circles have betrayed me if they haven't put the new ones in front of me. But maybe that's because I'm too busy buying like Tamagotchis and shit. But I don't know, man. That's like, those comics are so funny and they're so, I don't know, they're so well crafted. But there's a good one. There's a good one about a wishing well that I always think of, where he wishes for true love, and then everybody else wished for cooler shit. And he's sitting there with his true love,
I've seen this as like a meme before. I found the comic you're talking about. I've seen this as like a fucking meme, like a meme template before, where like people change what he wished for, and like everybody else like.
But he's still sad at the end. Like, I don't know. That's the whole sentiment, is that he's like, oh, should I have wished for something else? And it's like, the poor person that he wished for is like trying to reassure him, like, it's okay. It's like, oh god, you're both trapped.
It's like if you had it, like, because there's always that bullshit rule of like, oh well, if you wish for this thing, there's always going to be consequences. I'm like, no. In my rhetorical situation is always it is a consequence-free wish. There's no bullshit. I don't want no strings attached if I wish for something. I'm not monkey pawing this shit. Like,
yeah, don't worry about it. Don't think about it. It's okay.
Now, I guess, what was the transition into working into animation?
So it was unique for me because I was cold called from kind of the internet, which was happening a lot at that time. I think Adventure Time and a couple of other shows had kind of started the trend of hiring more like indie artists to work on the pre-production of their shows. So I was one of the people that got sort of brought on around that time. And damn, it made me wish I had gone to art school. Like I I don't know if I even would have known like what I wanted to do, but having to dive into an animation job without having any kind of basis of knowledge was definitely hard, but I was game. So, I put in as much as of myself as I possibly could. I tried to learn everything I could on the job and in between. I volunteered for stuff. I made the short with Nickelodeon. I like tried to talk to people and like kind of see if I was fucking things up without knowing. Which I'm sure I was. I definitely was at times, but thank God someone told me or I figured it out and I was like, oh, I gotta stop doing that. But it consumed a lot of my time. And that's part of why I had to put down the comic so suddenly with just like no, and like never return to it, is because every day I thought this will get easier and I will have time to go back to my comic. And those days never came. It just, there's just so much to learn and there's so much to do and there's so little time to do any of it. That I just had to stay on top of the needs of the job. And like, Harvey Beaks was great. It was great for me as like a first job to like really like stretch my muscles because Greenblatt wrote a lot of really fun specials. I remember the 4-part steampunk special that we all got to do was like it was like my first time doing like a straight musical episode that also had a ton of like machinery and stuff involved, and there was like fight scenes, so it was a really good learning experience for sure. But yeah, I died, but I'm fine now.
Well, and you did a short, Magical Children Doing Things. I think
That's right.
that was before Harvey Beaks, if I'm correct.
It was pretty close in time. I literally started Harvey Beaks that year, and then like at some point in the year at the around the office there were posters they were taking pitches for original shorts. So I like did it as a means of like learning more about the job because I was like, well, I need more experience. Like I need to know stuff. So I'm going to do this. And then weirdly, they like let me do one, which was crazy.
Well, and I guess what was it like? Because when I interviewed Rob Renzetti and I asked him about like, oh yeah, cartoons and doing stuff for that, was it like a similar process? Like, did you just have to pitch a short, or like, was it like basically everyone around the office was like coming up with ideas, or like how did it work to come up with a short for them?
I think they change it up every year based on their experience with the previous year. So at that time, they were doing the shorts program. Like I don't know if they're still doing shorts. Like I don't think Nickelodeon is doing that
I think
anymore.
the last
But
time they
like
did it was like the mid 2010s, like
yeah,
somewhere
it was
around there.
yeah, there was like a bit of a like renaissance or a boom around like those shorts. And I feel like when they came out, because Adventure Time came from one of those. So I feel like there was a little bit of an interest outside the studios of like, what are those kids in LA doing? What are those guys making? And like my year, they were very much looking for talent from anywhere, and they were taking pitches from outside the studio. So there was a lot of people coming in from outside, and I think they were more geared towards like students. They weren't. It wasn't like they were trying to sit with like celebrities or anything. Like I think they were trying to do that like student film thing, which there were occasionally, shorts from people like more veteran workers in the studio. But it was a balance. But at that time, I kind of just fit the exact type of person they were looking for. I was like a young person, new to animation. I was mostly into I was like kind of, from a different place. So it kind of aligned really nicely. And then I'm not sure how I know they changed things the year after that, and I don't know if they did any more.
Actually, from what I'm
But
seeing, apparently they did them up until 2018, because I'm seeing like 6 or 7 more from what I'm seeing, just like random like shorts that weren't really connected to anything.
That's another, like, talking about internet treasures that are no longer around. Like, some of those shorts are gone, man. Like, they made so many, and then they had them on the Nickelodeon app for a while, and then that died. So yeah, talk about like lost media. Um,
Like, was that like, because with Magic Children doing things, were they interested in picking it up, or was it just like they just wanted you to test out a short when you made it?
no, when they did that, they were looking for people. They were looking for
Okay.
people to make deals, and I did get a series development deal from that. Um, but the it was a really weird, like, it was a really weird contract, and the person that had helped me with the short had kind of set themselves up to be the like it was gonna be like him. Like, they do this a lot, but it's like they usually have like an experienced person helping the new person like run their
I
show.
was gonna say, was it like a joint ownership kind of thing,
It was,
basically?
but here's the thing, like, it was my show, but they gave him the like control,
The
like,
top billing, basically.
yeah, like they weren't gonna let me run my own show. They like made me like I what's the word, was it co, I don't even think it was co, I don't even think it was co-ep, I think it was something even lower. But it was like, it was kind of, I was a little like, I don't like that.
That's a
I don't
shitty, as I say, like a shitty deal,
It
basically.
happens a lot though. Like, it happens a lot, and it's like very normal, and there's nothing you can do about it. And if you want your show, sometimes you gotta just eat the bullet. And at the time, I don't think I did this out of like having a big ego, but I just kind of hated the idea that like I pushed this thing through, and I did all this stuff, and I did the voice work for, like, I did the voice work for the character, and I didn't even want to do her voice. Like, they were the ones who were like, "You do her voice so well, you should do it." And I was like, "Okay." And then so they kind of, I pushed it through. They gassed me up, and then they give me like the sidekick role, like the sidecar. And I was like, yeah, I don't love that. And I feel like I have enough ideas. I'm just gonna do something else. I'm just gonna pitch another show to some other place and then just be in charge of it when I can get it. So that is the story of Magic Children. And I feel bad because I feel like a lot of people were hoping that it would become a thing and that we would get more episodes. And I've tried revisiting it a few times, but I just don't think there's any interest right now. And it's definitely like, it's Nickelodeon owns it, so it's not leaving their vaults.
Well,
So
I've always heard that like complicated thing of like people who are like, oh, I know Disney is like pretty bad. Where like if you pitch something to them and like, this is ours, like you can't take this to another studio now that you pitched
yeah,
this to us, like. Because I know
if
that
you know
happened
that,
with I know that happened with Joan and Vasquez. Because I know he pitched a pilot in like 2017, and I remember he was just like, "Yep, I can't pitch it anywhere now. Like Disney owns it." Like,
yeah, it's one of those things that you can take steps to get around. Like, you can register ideas with the Writers Guild to kind of give yourself a little bit of a protection against them just like stealing it and then killing it. But like, that's kind of how the studios function, is like, rather than let anything get in the hands of a competitor, they'd prefer it to be like dead in their backyard, like, at least they know where it is. And
well,
they see, their corpses in eye shot.
well, it's like, because I think about that with Adventure Time, because I know that was originally pitched for Nickelodeon, And
Hmm.
you go down the list of things that were pitched for Nickelodeon that they didn't take. It's kind of crazy because I think Ed, Edd and Eddy was like another one that was pitched to Nickelodeon supposedly. And Adventure
Really?
Time. Yeah, I remember like reading a list one day of like what shows were pitched to Nickelodeon that they rejected. And like Ed, Edd and Eddy I think was one, Adventure Time was one. And I'm like, you gotta be like, at some point you gotta just be kicking yourself in the ass when
It's
you
crazy.
when you don't pick up shit like that.
Well, that's kind of what's happening right now with K-pop Demon Hunters. Like that hasn't happened. Like the Adventure Time thing hasn't happened for a while, at least not that I can remember. Like I just, even as somebody who wasn't in the industry at the time, like I knew that, you know, Nickelodeon passed on Adventure Time and it became a big thing. So it's like, but yeah, I guess Sony like either leased it to Netflix or sold it completely. But it's like,
Oh, I had this conversation with somebody a couple days ago. I'm like, Sony's probably kicking themselves in the ass that they didn't give that a theatrical
I don't
run.
think,
Like,
as far as I could tell from my sources, no, they weren't. They, I don't think they miss it. I don't think they wanted it. I think they thought it was stupid from the get go. And as
that's
cool as it is,
crazy.
that's
That's
crazy. It's
crazy.
crazy that, like, I do think that the internal, like, upper opinion of that movie was like, this is dumb and I don't know who this is for. But, like, we don't have we don't know. We don't know how they think about things. We
Well,
don't know how they do things.
it's corporate think, and also to be fair, you also don't know what will and won't be a hit. That's like the
No.
other thing.
And it's just so, like, sometimes it's tough because the people you need to appeal to are just like, they're just not very, like, I don't even know how to explain it. They're not like, there's like a spiritual connection that you're seeking when you make art, that you're like hoping to God when you bring your pitch deck that someone like connects with it on a level. And sometimes you work for people who just, they don't have a spiritual connection to anything that you're making, and they're operating blind and their third eye is closed, and you're like, okay, oh man, like, that's a shame, but I gotta figure out like how to pitch what I'm doing so that it has value to you now. Which is something that I have always struggled with, and I have never ever really figured out like how to do, only because I slip too far into parody and like nobody takes me seriously.
Well, it's like I know that there are also some things where it's like there's a creator who makes one really big fucking hit, and they're just like, "What else can you give us?" And then they give you something, and then the studio's like, "That's fucking stupid, but I guess we'll greenlight it." And then they kill it after. It's like Symbionic Titan with Gendy, where like that shit just fucking died within like not even a year, I think.
Oh shoot. I really should be more up on my Gendy projects. Hold on. Was this before or after Unicorn?
It was way before. Symbionic Titan was the thing right before Hotel Transylvania.
Oh, yes. I know this. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes. I remember this.
Because like
Yeah.
they didn't advertise it well. They didn't really know how to advertise it, and then they made up that bullshit excuse that there was toy sales when there were never any fucking toys.
I'm going to be so honest with you. I cannot say that I have any real definitive like knowledge of why any of these decisions are made. Like that's the one thing that I've taken from my time in this industry, is that I I have tried to like think in the same way as like executives in studios. Like I'm like trying to appeal. I'm trying to like understand their jobs, understand their stakes, and I'm trying to give them something that will maybe make their day easier, or give them something to present to their bosses. Like I'm trying to make it nice for them so that we can all work together to make something. And I still have no idea what I'm supposed to bring to the table. Truthfully, like I'm just it changes so often, and it changes per person, and it like really pisses me off because that like rinse repeat advice of like just believe in yourself is like becoming more and more of the thing that I'm like, I think I just have to do that. I think I just have to fucking believe in myself. And there's no way of knowing. I can't. I've used the dowsing rods, and I've tried to like talk to as many people as I know who've done it before, and it just seems like the fucking Naruto believe in yourself shit is really the best angle you can approach this with.
It's also the thing I know where I've seen so many stories of like movies or shows that got fucked because of like executive change or like shakeups at the studio or corporate like mergers. I remember there's been movies I've heard where like, oh, the head of the company like loves this movie and was giving it like a big push, and then like right near the end of production of the film there was a shift at the studio and that executive left, and then the new guy that came in was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, I'm not giving this a push. Like, and then they killed that fucking project.
And kind of going back to what I was saying earlier about like people looking for other people on social media among the like white noise. It's like some of the movies we get are a result of like an executive really vibing with something. And it's like the little boats that we put on the water get pushed forward by, somebody in the system pushing it forward. And it's like, it's kind of when I put it that way, it sounds beautiful. But it's also like the numbers are crazy, given the amount of ideas that are passed around, and some just don't make it through. But it's like, yeah, an executive leaving, to me, like just you saying that is like, oh man, like I've definitely felt that way being at a studio when the executives changed and being like, uh-oh, like what's going to be the fate of the show that we all work on,
Well, that was that Warner Brothers shit when the Max merger or whatever, like 3 years ago, where they killed like fucking God, like 13 things after that happened. Like,
yep, that'll happen, and when it does, you kind of just gotta take a minute to like, wipe the fucking blood out of your teeth and put your hair behind your ear, and then you gotta come back and you gotta be like, I believe in myself. I believe in myself. Here I am. And it's been, I've definitely been there has been ups and downs all over, but these past few years have definitely also had more of the like, executive changes, mergers, streaming services buying each other, and we're not really sure. None of us are really sure like what's gonna stick. The regular show reboot was kind of really interesting. That was like a unique situation. That was like a full season pickup in an environment where most studios are doing like half seasons, or they're doing like full freelance crews where it's like everybody's
like a 26 episode season that they split up into like 3 parts over like 2 years, basically.
I mean, yeah, 26 episodes is like that would even be a bigger commitment. I would be more familiar with the kind where it's like, okay, you're gonna do 5 episodes, so that's like 3 months of work, and then I'll see you later, I guess. But it's just the contracts are just shorter nowadays. A lot of people in the industry have been telling me like, yeah, this happens, it'll change, like, it goes up and it goes down. But I'm lucky enough to have had like enough freelance work in between to not feel horrible. But yeah, man, just gotta believe in yourself. Just gotta believe in yourself.
I say as I'm like crying. I say as I'm like crying into my ramen noodle bowl.
I mean, truly. If you had, I know a lot of my friends are doing teaching again. At the same time, it's like, well, I should probably do something with my, like, in the times that I'm working, I wish I had the time. And then when I'm not working, I'm like, I wish I had work.
Oh, it's like I do voiceover, and I've just gotten I've talked about the struggle of like committing to it the last couple years, because
Oh, yeah?
I've described it as like a snake eating its own tail. It's like I need to get voice acting, but I'm unmotivated. But if I don't keep voice acting, I'm gonna stay unmotivated. But I'm unmotivated because I'm not getting work. Like it's like it's again, I call it the snake eating its own tail. Like, that's just how I've felt about it for, like, the last 2 or 3 years. That's why I enjoy doing this more, because I just feel like I have more control over it as opposed to doing voice work.
Listen, as somebody who also does voice work, I totally understand. And it's so debilitating when you don't hear back from an audition, but it is also so uplifting when you do. Like, the highs and lows are crazy. And I've kind of just I'm trying to practice like letting go of seeing results and just enjoying the love of the game, and just being like, yeah, man, I gotta do this, you know. And if I'm not doing it, I gotta audition. And if I'm not auditioning, I gotta like practice, like I gotta keep terrorizing my boyfriend with my bad Yoda impression so that I can stay fresh when I'm like in the booth, you know.
Please, I need to hear it. Please.
Hello, it's me, Yoda. Muted and green I am.
It sounds like it sounds like did you ever watch Centaur World?
Oh yes, I did.
It sounds like Glendale when what you're doing.
God. I don't know what I'm doing. It's not really Yoda. I haven't studied Yoda, and I refuse. I'm not gonna make this impression good. I'm doing it because it sucks.
Oh no, oh god, I'm trying to even think. I have like a list of impressions just because I'm like, it's fun. It's just fun to do impressions, especially if you learn to get really good at one.
I low key love I love a performance that you're like, yeah, baby, strap in. Like, I love like a meat wad. Like,
oh, I was like, well, it's a little more
yeah.
like,
You're gonna listen to that. You bet that's my main character. Yeah, and he's gonna be in every episode.
Like Hank Hill. That's like just very
Love Hank.
distinct voices that I just it's like they're, I can't even explain it. They're like so stupid, or they're so distinct in a way that it's just like, it's a voice everybody can do, but like only like one person can do it right. It's like the Peter Griffin effect, where like fucking everybody can do Peter Griffin, but like only Seth MacFarlane can do it like funny. Like,
no, iconic. God, we all wish we were Meatwad. Damn.
I wish I could do Shake. See, that's the voice I wish I could do on that show, is fucking Master Shake.
Master Shake, hold on. Frylock, that was, he did a voice for a Disney show that was really cute. It was the Ghost and Molly McGee. Did you ever check that out?
Yeah, Dana Snyder. Yeah, he did Ghost and Molly McGee. I love that show.
He was funny. I liked hearing him and Ashley Birch riff together. It was really cute.
I've wanted to get Ashley Birch for so long, but I've never ever. There's like no contact for her. I found an agent. I think that was it. Like,
well, I mean, she's you know, she's big enough now that she gets to say yes or no. So I hear you. I've wanted to. The closest I got to working with Ashley Birch was working on Glitch Text, but we didn't really spend that much time together. So sadly, we didn't really get to we didn't really get to like meet each other and like be coworkers. Like, she was also on the writing side. So I think she was like more in that world. I only ever got to see them when we recorded. But I hear you. I too would love to be in a project or do a project with Ashley Birch.
I have like I call it my list of white whales, like people I
Mm.
would want on this podcast or people I'd want to work with. Mostly people on this podcast. There's so many people where I'm like I think like my biggest one is Janice Kawai, who was Jenny on My Life as a Teenage Robot. I
Oh,
love her. I have always loved her performances and things. I just think she has a naturally just charming voice. I just really
that's
like her
beautiful.
voice. I
That'd be so
I
fun.
I've wanted to interview her for so long, and she has no digital footprint. Nothing. Like she has
Mm.
absolutely nothing. Like no digital footprint whatsoever.
Sometimes it'd be like that. They sometimes they don't want they want to live their life in peace, and I totally respect
Oh,
that.
I get it. I get it. But I think it sucked also because I found the agency that she's associated with, and they never fixed their email
Mm.
because they have a CAPTCHA. Like, you have to fill out a thing to, like, send an email, but the CAPTCHA's broken, and it's been broken for 2 years. They never fixed it,
Mm.
and it annoys
Mm.
me, and I don't want to call them because I'm nervous. And I don't want to call the office and ask.
That's okay. Essentially, that what's going to happen is essentially the way that like the door is closed is that they tell you like, okay, we will get back to you, and then they never do. And that's
Nope.
kind of the Hollywood way of being like, no.
It's one of the reasons I hate emailing agents for the podcast because 9 times out of 10, never hear anything from them. Never hear anything.
You know, it is what it is. It is what it is, but also it's crazy because sometimes I've definitely worked with actors where they pointed out like, yeah, how come you guys didn't call me for this the first
Yeah,
time? Like,
no, I've
I
seen
love
that
doing
before,
this
yeah.
character. And it's like, well, we did, but egg on our face, I guess.
Well,
uh
I remember that happened with Fiona and Cake. Cause like
oh.
the actor who played Prismo, Kamal Nanjiani, he loves that
Hmm.
character, and
Oh,
when the show came out, he was like,
yeah.
"It really sucks because I really wanted to be on this show." And then I think the head of that show like responded to him on Twitter and was like, "Oh, we contacted you, but your agent said you weren't interested." And he was like, I guess I'll talk to my agent because I definitely would have been interested if you told me about this. Like,
I do vaguely remember Adam going through the struggles at the time that I did the one episode for Fiona and Cake that I did. And I remember him kind of looking really stressed about the casting situation. So that sucks. I'm sorry, but I'm
well,
glad that they worked it out.
he's in season 2. They said he's going to be in season 2 as Prismo, so I guess they were able to work something out. But I've heard stories of that where like, oh yeah, I would have come back if you just contacted me, and I'm like, well, we did. We contacted your agent, and they said you wouldn't be interested, and I'm like, oh well, that sucks because I definitely would have been interested. Like if you told me.
I don't know. I don't understand. Um, maybe it's like one of those things where, because I know, like, I know, but I also don't know. Like, I have never done live action. I don't know, like, what the difference is, but I feel like animation in general is like this sort of charity work for pennies most of the time. That like when probably I'm guessing when agents look at it, they're like that's not worth the time and effort. But it's like no,
No,
like
that
you do
yeah.
it for the love of the game. That's kind of same with like anime dubbing. Like I don't like I think a lot of agencies and agents are like you should focus on commercials. You should focus on like doing that, or audiobooks. And then, the people are like, no, but I love anime and I want to do dubbing. And it's okay if I don't like make any money from it. So that's
Well,
like
it's like
the
I
push and pull of
I
it.
I for years had heard this. I assume it's true because I for years have heard this, and I think it was at a con in like 2007. The guy who played Ty in Digimon, Joshua Seth,
Hmm.
he did a very brief character in the SpongeBob movie. Has like 3 lines in that movie.
Cool.
And he said at a convention, I made more money doing that movie than I did for all of Digimon.
I mean, that's kind of a great example of sort of the difference, I think. Just like when it comes to picking jobs that are going to pay the bills, it's like, yeah, the feature and the commercial will do it. Like anime, you know, like that's a passion. That's a thing that you do because you love it, you know? Like when the chips are down, you do it. And when the chips are up, you do it. It's like but I mean, obviously so many people love anime and like want to be in them that there's never, you know, there's never like a lack of willing people. It's just a matter of convincing certain other people, like, don't you love things? Don't you have love for things and media? Do you have a show that you watch as a child that you love? Okay, well that's why I want to do it.
Well, yeah, it's like and some anime people like double down. They do writing or editing for the shows they're working on so they can get more pay. Now, hell, I know some anime voice actors are now doing like VTubing because that shit makes a ton of money. Like,
damn.
There's a few really big anime voice actors who have become like huge VTubers now, like in the last couple of years.
I'm not super in that world, so I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, I'm not either. I just remember learning that like, oh shit, these 2 voice actors are now like huge like streamers now.
Nice. I'm very wary of that, like the internet money. I don't know. I've seen so many young influencers like be rich, but also they're young, and then their lives are weird and they spend it in weird places.
Well, yeah, it's like I don't like when I hear about like 17-year-olds becoming like, oh, I'm a millionaire off of YouTube, and I'm like, that's weird. I don't like that. That's
kind of essentially what is like that has been my experience. Like, I'm not a 17-year-old millionaire. I have met, you know, the person that is 20 now that was, or like, I don't know. I think the money was still flowing, but one of my neighbors in my old apartment was like an influencer who just every time he talked, I was like, interesting, you're very wealthy. And like his girlfriend had like 3 horses stabled somewhere in Burbank.
Fuck?
That's what I'm saying.
What the fuck? She had 3 horse stables, not 3 horses. She had 3 stables.
No. She had 3 horses stabled.
Oh, I thought you said she had 3 stables. I was like, Jesus Christ.
But your reaction is correct because horse rent is expensive.
Well, I was gonna say even owning 3 horses is a shit ton of money.
Is a shit ton of money, and she had 3. She wasn't just paying 1 horse rent; she was paying 3 horse rent. That was crazy, and they were like so casual about it, but also like low-key kind of stressed. And I was like, ooh. Interesting. Are you sure you need 3? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we have the 3 horses. What do you do? We know how to take care of 3 horses. Like,
and they do. They had, yeah, as long as, you know, as long as they could pay for it, they do. But it's just a different life. It's just, I was like so interested. He had like a really nice car too.
This is like, I think it's like when you're so young and you're given like a shit ton of money, that's kind of like the other thing I think about where I'm like, what do you do? And I mean more so like, what does that do to you when you're very young and you get that much money doing something like that? Because what happens when the well eventually dries out when you're that young is the other thing.
I don't know what that looks like yet. I don't know what became of him. I don't know where he is now. That was like 5 years ago. I assume he's still making content, but yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't really know. I feel like it kind of depends. Like if because he moved to LA, and I presume that he moved to LA to get into acting, because he could have done his influencing anywhere. So I don't know if he like ended up becoming an actor or not. But I guess you could also just buy a plot of land in the Midwest and start a cult, which is probably what I would do.
What would you make it? What would you make it about?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Ron Hubbard just made that shit up, man, and he died rich.
Who was the dude?
It pisses me off.
Who was the dude from like Heaven's Gate? It was like another one where I was trying to think of like a dude who literally just started shit with like nothing and
Incredible.
convinced a shit ton of people just to kill themselves. Like,
That's so fucked up, man. That's fucked up. I mean, Scientology's fucked up, but that's also fucked up.
oh god, he has a cult. He has a cult sounding name too. Marshall Applewhite.
Well, he probably made that up himself. Bummer. My cult would be nice. It would be fun. No, none of that weirdness. You can definitely feel safe in my cult. My cult is for cool, nice people only. We don't let any bad people in.
If you're a dickhead, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we don't like that around here. Also, give me all of your money for safekeeping.
For safekeeping, we'll put it in a lockbox in my tent that you're not allowed to go in because it's
my tent. That's also a house that you're not allowed to go in. But it's important that you all sleep in tents so that you know your place in the world is lower than my place.
It's like that bit in Hercules when they like show his parents after he's become like a celebrity and they show that little tiny house behind them and then they show there's like a big ass fucking house like built in the back of it. Like that
I know,
kind of shit.
So that was such a nice moment when he got his small town parents like a better living situation. That was like so sweet. I love that. They're just like, like our son. We have like a Mercedes now.
I love that they still have the donkey though, but they have a golden chariot now with the donkey.
Of course. They just got a nicer ride.
And I guess something I was wondering, because you have done voice work on a few things, because you were on Big City Greens, you did a voice on that, and you were the secondary main character of Glitch Tax. Now, how did that happen exactly with Glitch Tax?
So that was kind of a very unique situation. I helped Dan and Eric do some scratch for their Glitch Text pilot when it was sort of at the studio, kind of gearing up to be made. And Eric was looking for like an actual like girl woman to do some like temp audio for Miko, because when you're doing it at the studio in development, it's like you can't cast people yet, so you need to get voices from just like whoever is around.
I was wondering if it was a temp voice thing, because I've heard of that happening before.
It was. The way he tells it, he's like, I heard her talking outside my office, and I was like, that one. So, yeah, but I was also doing my short at the time, so there was like a little bit of an understandable leap to like, oh, you do voices. Like you did a silly voice in Harvey Beaks, you did a silly voice for your short. Can you do this voice for this teenage girl? Because you sound like a teenage girl. And I was like, that works for me. I'm happy to help. Like I totally understand the ask, and I'm down to like help you like sell this. So, I gave it my best, like anime dub, high energy, just like always at a 10 kind of thing. And I guess the executives really liked it, and so much so that it kind of became a thing where they were like, okay, if it goes, we're keeping that the same. Like the executives like that. We're not changing that. So that's kind of why I ended up getting the role for that. And it was also one of those things where like I knew a bit of the media as well. It was like about video games and stuff, and I was like, oh, this would be fun to say, or like, oh, I could throw in a different take of this here, or like, oh, it'd be funny if this was this kind of read instead of this one. It was like I was doing a little bit more than just like reading the lines as they were. And I think
So you were
I think
improving
I
a
liked
bit
that.
with the script?
I mean, I wasn't trying to like push against them or anything. Like I wasn't doing anything that was like, this is how I think it should be. I was just like giving them options that they never thought of that, because they're not a teenage girl. um, so, and I think that helped make her feel real. And I think everybody really enjoyed sort of adding their own stuff to, glitch text when it did end up going. And it was really nice to be able to stay on. Because there was a very scary moment when I accepted the directing gig at Big City where they were trying to make me not do the voice. Like they were trying to make the call that doing a voice for Nickelodeon would take up time from my directing duties, and I don't know, trying to make me feel like I had to pick one or the other. And thankfully we came to a nice agreement where I didn't have to do that, but that there was a period of time where I was like kind of worried if I was going to be able to keep doing it or not.
Well, and I guess what was it like getting to play a character that was that substantial? Because again, it was basically the secondary protagonist of a show.
It was really fun. I mean, it was nice because the scripts were very solid. I really enjoyed what I was reading. Like when I was sent the scripts, I really enjoyed whatever I read, and Dan and Eric did a really good job of like knowing who she was and putting her in really fun situations and keeping like the relationship between her and Five like really sweet and nice. I did the co-star was really fun. He was such a funny kid, and there was such an it was so funny because like I was doing an impression of a teenager, but he actually was a teenager. And there was definitely a little bit of a like, oh man, you know more cool words than I do, kiddo. That's cool. But he was really nice and really funny. But it was a really good experience for me. I definitely did same thing with Harvey Beaks. I had to learn on the job, and I had to just make sure that I came with skills that, they were like, can you do this? And I was like, yeah, I can do that as of yesterday. As of yesterday, I learned how to do it.
I
So
love those stories of like, hey, can you do this? Yes. I
mhm.
fucking love stories like that.
Yeah, because I just kind of knew my place. Like I was brought in kind of in an unorthodox way, and a proper voice actor having this role would not they wouldn't be held back in certain ways than they were if I was doing it. So I just wanted to make sure that they weren't held back by me not having any kind of skill or having not ever having done this or that before. So you know I was just trying to stay on top of it and hopefully give them what they wanted and make everybody feel good about it. um but I also know from being on the directing side of like directing voice actors, I also have this deep fear of like, well, if I did bad, I don't think they'd tell me, because I I've definitely been on the side of some bad situations that we just had to recover, and we just had to like move past it. And I feel so bad when that happens too, because it's nobody's fault. It's literally nobody's fault.
Like just a bad read or like what?
Just like sometimes the people that you get to do the voices are not animation people, or they're just
Oh
not,
yeah.
like they're mostly live action. So it's like the mentality's really different. Like voice acting is so cartoonish, and sometimes you take that for granted when you're watching something, but when you're having to do the voices, or you're having to like sell like, okay, this person is nervous or this person is happy, it's like sometimes you read it the way that you would if you're happy, but it's like that's not enough for animation. And it's like sometimes it can be hard to get that cartoonish animation stuff we need when like the actor is like mostly accustomed to live action. And like every single live action person I've worked with is so nice. They're so nice and they're so down and they're so sweet and I love working with them. So it's like it's this beautiful thing where you're like trying to explain this totally new concept without making it feel bad. You know
Like
what I mean?
without feeling condescending.
Or like cuz it's not about it it's not about like you did it wrong or you did it right. It's about like being silly. Like you have to embrace being sillier than you normally would in general if you're doing voice acting for animation. And it's like my whole thing is that I'm trying to coax them into being silly. And I'm trying to coax them into being like letting go, and it's like, look, this is cartoon shit, clown shit for a circus audience. Like you have like we got to let go of our dignity. We got to keep it light. And I always really liked working with kids because a lot of them were really down for that. A lot of them were like really like, okay, like we'll be silly. But sometimes like I felt bad. You know, sometimes I felt bad. Like we'd have celebrities casting in at like 7 a.m. from London. And, you know, they're doing this thing as like a charity to us. And fucking Disney wants a social media set piece too, where they ask the actor, like, how do you feel about this project? And the actor's like, oh,
I don't fucking care.
I
It's like
feel
8 in the
great.
goddamn morning.
So good.
Like,
And it's like, it's really just beyond my control to get everybody like excited. And I hate being that person. I will never be that person who's like, come on guys, let's get excited. Like I can't do it.
Like the overexcited teacher that comes in at like 8 in the morning to get everybody excited, and everybody's like, no, I'm
No,
not
and that truthfully
right
in that
now.
situation it helps no one. So I just there's definitely been some sticky records where it's like there's too many factors involved for me to be like, okay, we just need to get what we get. Like it is what it is. And I just hope we all had a good time.
Well, and I was curious with Big City Greens because you did voice direction on that, and you even did some voice work on that show.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess what because like you've had your hands in many pots in Big City Greens because you've directed, you've done voice direction, you've done voice acting, and I guess what was it like having to work on a show like that for so long? Because you've been working on it for 7 years. 7 years.
I think I did a solid 5. A nice solid 5, which is like that's for animation work. That's pretty solid. Like
What's it like been working on a show like that for so long? Like for so long, especially a show that's been that popular.
I definitely came in. I mean, it was different for me because when we started Big City, it wasn't popular. It was
Right.
you know, a kind of underdog black sheep show at the studio that like was kind of overshadowed by some of the other like legacy projects that they were sort of banking on more. So it was scrappy, which I really like about like first seasons. Like I love that there's no money. I love that there's no time. I love that we've promised something that we can't deliver on. And I love finding solutions within those parameters because it's kind of it there's a little bit more room to be a little sloppy and a little crazy. And I liked that. So working on it for 5 years, it was definitely different in the beginning because we were just trying to get the episodes done, but we were also trying to make the episodes like really, really good. And they still are. They're still making the episodes really, really good. But it's like, you know, nobody was really looking and there was no one to tell us if it was good other than ourselves. So that's kind of where we all kind of found our rhythm of working with each other and figuring things out and like you know, when there were 2-part specials that we had to do, or shorts that we had to do on top of, you know, things that we didn't plan on, and, you know, episodes are running over, and the celebrity we got backed out, so we got to figure something else out. It's like, it was really chaotic, but it was really, really fun to just like keep the train going. And, you know, being awarded new seasons was really nice because it really felt like, oh, fuck yeah, we did it. Hell yes. And then, yeah, towards the middle, it was a lot more like, okay, this is what we do. This is what we do. This is how we do it. Like, you know, there's a little bit more leverage in terms of like asking for more time. So it, you know, right around the 5-year mark is kind of where it started to get like really comfortable and really nice, and we could have more, we had more room and more time and more money to do cooler and cooler things. And I think the last big thing I did for Big City Greens was the Christmas special, where we had it was like it was a musical. We had so many songs. It was a 2-parter. It was a minute over. We tried to convince the studio to let us be a minute over. I don't think it ever happened, but they kept telling me to just leave it, and I was like, okay. And then I think eventually what ended up happening was, I think they did end up shortening it, but they did, I don't know, they tried a couple different things. I think they tried some weird auto filter where, I don't know if you've ever done this, you can like take time out by like speeding certain parts up.
Yeah.
Suddenly.
Oh, yeah. I've done that
I think
before.
they tried to do that. And it like, they were like, what the fuck? No, don't do that shit.
Well, I was gonna say the only way around that is to like not have characters talking when you do that. You have to like, but if you do that, you have to make sure that it fits with the music track, so the music doesn't sound like it just automatically like at like one point.
Yeah, you gotta be kind of smart about that stuff. But I think part of why I had my hands in so many pots on Big City is just because when we were starting out, we didn't have a lot of leverage and we didn't totally know what we needed. And I was just willing to do those things. I did the voice directing for all of season 2 just because there were times in season 1 where like other people couldn't do it. And I was like, I got it, don't worry. And then eventually I just inherited that duty, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm down. Like, somebody needs to do this, and like, you know, we would prefer to have it be someone on the crew rather than like a casting director who is like, a lot of shows have casting directors that like are really, really great. And I'm not trying to disparage that, but it's like, at the time we were trying to appeal by like saving money in places. And that was one of the places that we were like proudly like, oh, we can save money here. So that's kind of how that ended up happening, is I was just sort of, there was just a lot that needed to be done. And I was just sort of down to try and do all of it. And then I ended up continuing to do all of it. And it was really fun.
Was voice directing like a real learning experience? Like having to learn how to do that?
No, because I'm perfect and I did it right every time. That's my answer.
I know how to talk to actors. How fucking dare you?
I knew how to do the job as soon as I started, and I never ever did anything wrong ever. No, it's definitely, well, you know, it's like tough sometimes when you're in a vacuum. But again, I just, same as the Harvey Beaks job, same as the Glitch Tech's job, like, I just didn't want anybody to be held back by what I didn't know. So I tried just to ask people and to like not be the thing that is causing the machine to slow down. So I definitely appreciate everybody's patience. But the recording studio that we worked with out loud was really, really nice, and they were really helpful in like helping me go fast during records. So,
Well, was there anybody with the, because Big City Greens also had a shit ton of character actors, comedians, things like that. Was there anybody?
true.
Was there anybody on that show that you were starstruck by that you got to work
Oh my
with?
God, so many. I like can't. The thing is, I can't be that way when they're there because they're there to work, and
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want them to be. I don't like. I want everybody to be chill, you know. And like, I've heard really funny stories about Bill Shatner having very specific rules, for having him on, and if you break those rules, he's not shy about being like, "See ya."
Well, when you're
Um,
like not when you're 93 years old, that's kind of
Honestly,
the.
I don't blame him. Like, truly, I don't. Like, I've seen him at a convention once, and because my dad is like a huge Star Trek fan, and like, I'm just like, guys, leave Grandpa alone. Like, holy shit. Like, give him some space. Damn. Um, but yeah, there's plenty of people. I mean, Danny Trejo, used to come in all the time because he voices Vasquez, and he's like so fun to record with. He's so nice. There was a period of time where he was playing Animal Crossing. That was fun to talk to him about.
What the fuck?
Yeah, there was a period of time where he was playing Animal Crossing, and someone in his inner circle was like recording it and recording like him playing with Danny Trejo, and it was like really cute. Like he like had a little town, and he like made like a cute Muscle Beach. It was adorable. But
I would not think Danny Trejo would play Animal Crossing.
I mean, I presume it was somebody else's idea, and it worked on me. But yeah, Danny Trejo was really fun to work with. I mean, there were so many guests that were non-recurring guests. We had Mark Hamill on. He was a delight. Um, God, if I could work with him again, that'd be so fun. He just seems like a really fun dude. We had John Hammond for that one special. We had Christopher Lloyd. I don't know. There's so many. We had
I'm literally looking at like like just the list of celebrities that were on the show like right now. It's like good God.
we had Karamo Brown on from Queer Eye. He was so nice. We had him play a sexy car. That was really fun. We had Randall Park and Jim Rash. Those guys were really fun. There were so many. There were so many guys that were so fun.
Did you voice direct the one where they had Eric Jacobson as Fozzie play a character?
Wait a minute.
The dentist character, because I remember that episode. I was gonna say, please tell me you worked on that one, because I would love to know.
I did.
The whole
I directed
thing with
that one.
Yeah.
I directed that episode, and that I don't did I direct the voice for him? Oh, that one might be in the trenches. I don't know if I remember. I don't think I voice directed the actors for that one.
I was curious with that one because they made this whole big marketing thing of like Fozzie Bear as the, like, they didn't say Eric Jacobson. They specifically said Fozzie Bear, and I remember there was like an ad for it where they were like, Fozzie Bear plays this character, and there's just something in me that was like, I swear to God, if he brought the puppet in to record with that for that show, I want to know, did he fucking record with the puppet?
That's a great question. Unfortunately, I was not there for that one. That one was definitely like our bid to the Jim Henson Company to be like, want to get in on this, and like it was such a funny little gag. But I do think that they got some promos out of it. I do think that the Fozzie puppet did do like promos.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
they did like a fake interview with Fozzie Bear about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So so the puppet was definitely there. Definitely there. I don't know if he was there for the record, but like,
because I was like, for Amphibia, I think it was like around the same time, or maybe it was like the year before. They had Matt Vogel come in for an episode of Amphibia because frogs, and they had him play a frog who looked like Kermit but blue,
Nice.
like in an episode.
Love that.
But
Fucking
I
love
don't.
that.
That was so funny because I don't remember them advertising that at all, which I think would have been so much funnier if they just kept it was just this weird like 2-year trend where for some reason like there was just 2 Disney shows where they had Muppeteers like play their characters playing characters in shows. Like
I mean, they were being made right next to each other, and like the creators 100% like are friends and hang out, so it makes sense to me.
well, and I guess to end this, I was curious because I always ask this of everybody is what advice would you want to give to people who are interested in getting in the industry?
That's like the worst question to ask me because I got in on a total crapshoot. Like I came in during a time that I wasn't even aware of where they were hiring indie comic artists off the internet. I happened to be an indie comic artist on the internet at that time, and I was on that reality show that like kind of put me in front of people that also happened to be in LA. That were looking for comic artists to do storyboards. So it's like I can't tell anyone to do that because that's an insane series of events and scenarios. But it depends on which route you're trying to go. I think in general, going to art school isn't necessary, but as someone who didn't go, I wish I had. But then again, it's also hard to know what you want at that age. So even if I did go to art school, I don't know if I would have known that like storyboarding was the thing that I was supposed to learn how to do there. So at this time, it's very hard for me to give advice because things are weird even for people who've worked in it a long time. But people are really into indie animators right now. Like if you're somebody who can do your own indie animations on social media, that's kind of one of the ways in is to like already do all of it by yourself, which is an insane thing to ask of people. But that seems to be like, in my experience, like what turns heads, I guess, or like what recruiters like to see. Recruiters also still use LinkedIn, so that's a thing that you could invest in. I also feel like I got in a really weird way, but I do think that doing your own stuff will benefit you more than doing a million storyboard tests. Like at this point in time, if you're a student or someone who's looking for like where to spend your time, I think doing a ton of storyboard tests is good. Like that's how you get jobs. But if you don't have a website or a body of work to point to, it's going to be hard for other people to kind of put you it's going to be kind of hard for other people to pick you if you don't have something and you just have a really nice storyboard test. Because it kind of like how you were saying it was hard to like find, my internet footprint. Like you kind of want an internet footprint. So that's my advice. It's one of those things that I hesitate to give because it asks a lot of other people, but it's also something that I had to do to keep getting the next thing that led me to the next thing. So That's my insider take.
Was like, cause I mean, cause you said with indie animation, that shit's been blowing the fuck up the last like 5 years. Like,
Yeah, it's sort of where the animation kind of eyeball of funding has kind of landed, is like they're seeing that they're sort of seeing that, like, rather than cultivate a brain trust inside of their own studio that creates cool shit, they can find it out in the world for much cheaper, essentially. And that's sort of a concerning thing for us, just to have that shift. And it just sort of puts pressure on artists to then kind of be, their own everything, to, animate their own stuff, to make comics, to make music, to make little short videos. Like, it's a lot of things that you are suddenly now like, oh, I guess I have to do that. But it can also be good for you, because then when you do get the opportunity, you won't be scrambling on the job like I was to catch up.